Android tutorial, and today in this series of Android testing, I will be explaining about the topic of how do you organize your test. Okay, so the big question is, we write the test, right? We can write any test with any name. I can write a test, and I can name it give any name, and I can run the test, and the test will be passed. The test works. But what is the use of writing a test which is not understood by anybody else? Like, for example, your colleague who is working in the same source code, but if you write the test and your colleague doesn't understand it, it's not a good way of writing tests, right? Not a good practice. So the best way is, today I will be explaining you how do you organize your test. Okay, there is give you some standard strategy to write your test, so that your colleague will be understanding your test and try and get the benefit of it, right? So writing every test is writing a kind of a documentation. So we have to try to follow this strategy, like that is given, when, then. Okay, so this strategy says that we like differentiate the test into different strategy, like given, when, then. So also you can see subject under test, action or input, and result state. So what's the purpose of this test? What's the given, and what's when, then, right? Given, so if you have followed my previous lecture, I was trying to test this particular square method. Okay, what is this method doing is, like, it's taking an input and it's squaring the input, right? It's giving and it's returning the value of the square. So given number, when, when it can also be action, when you square the number, and then return result of square, right? So this is the strategy. So you are giving a number, so now it's much more understandable, you see, with this organizing your test. Like you have to follow this simple strategy, that is given, when, and then, right? So given number, when you square the number, like you are performing the action when you square the number. Squaring is the action that is performing, and then you return the result. So this is the best practice of organizing your test, right? So this was the concept that I wanted to explain here. So, and there is also another tip, that you can also use a way of assertion framework, like Hamcrest and Truth library. So actually this is Truth library, is another library to make your test more readable and human friendly. So also, like, it helps you to write different kind of assertion, like, it's more human readable assertions. Okay, so I guess you can like download and follow these libraries. And now the another important strategy I wanted to explain you. Whenever you write a test, there are different strategy of writing a test. Like, for example, the tests are divided into different groups. Like, we have a unit test, okay, for the application. If you see here, there is a unit test, and we also have a integration test, that is an Android test here, and we have a end-to-end test, that is a testing entire app, like, you the final test that you do with your physical device or emulator. Okay, so how do you divide this kind of test? Is like, it says that 70% you have to do a unit test, because unit test, it is done with a unit code, that means a small block of code. Then it helps to catch the bug and stuff like that. So unit test is more like, it's more done with, as you can see the example, it's done with view model, the repository, and data access object, that is your DAO. Okay, and for integrated test, you are doing mostly like unit test consists of 70% of your code coverage, whereas integrated test will be consisting of 20% of your code coverage, because it's doing test for activity, fragment, view model, database, and stuff like that. And whereas end-to-end test is done with your entire app. Okay, so it's like you are running your physical app and testing it. Final test is like 10% of it, composes 10% of your test. So guys, So this is the strategy that you have to follow whenever you test any kind of entire application. So don't and also I would suggest you to define a proper architecture for your app. Okay, like for example, the proper architecture means like you have to define a proper architecture of app, in the sense like the like MVVM architecture, you know, so that you can just separate the code and define a specific testing strategy for your application. All right, so please follow me, and I will be coming with more testing tutorials, and thank you.